Freedom, they say, is sweet, but freedom without wisdom is dangerous. This is Uche, a boy who thought university meant liberty, but instead he built his own prison, and it all began with the idea of 12. Uche was just 17 when he stepped into the university gates for the very first time. For many students, this will be the beginning of learning, the pursuit of knowledge, and the hope of a better future. But for Uche, this was escape. Escape from his father's strict rules. Escape from his mother's endless prayers. Escape from teachers who always told him what to do. Here, no one controlled him. Here, he was free. But Uche's idea of freedom was not lectures, books, and certificates. No, Uche wanted something more. He wanted to be feared. He wanted to be remembered. He wanted power. One day, standing at the balcony of his hostel, Uche's mind wandered. He remembered his Sunday school days. He remembered how his pastor always said, Jesus had 12 disciples. Together, they shook the world. Uche laughed to himself.
If Jesus had 12 disciples for good, why can't I have 12 disciples for power?
And in that moment, the deadly 12 was born. From the next day, Uche began his hunt. He didn't just want anybody. He wanted boys like him. Hungry, restless, fearless. The first was Chike. Chike, tall, strong, always quick to fight. Then Shegu, street smart, always knew how to hustle and survive. Tunde, the joker of the class. Behind his smile was a dangerous recklessness. Bouvier was the money lover, willing to do anything for fast cash. He picked them one by one until he had 11. 11 boys who craved freedom like he did. 11 boys who didn't mind walking into darkness. Together, they would be. They gathered in an abandoned classroom. The broken windows allowed the moonlight to shine on their faces. The air was still. Their eyes were sharp. Uche stood before them and spoke. Brothers, from today, we are no longer ordinary. From today, we are one. No betrayal, no fear. Even after graduation, every 5 years, we must gather, no matter where we are, even in death. The boys shivered, but the thrill of belonging was stronger. They cut their fingers, letting drops of blood fall into a single cup. They mixed it with alcohol, and each of them drank. And as the last boy swallowed, Uche whispered the words that sealed their fates.
We are 12, not just friends, but brothers, bound in life, bound in death.
The deadly 12, the deadly 12, forever.
From that night, everything changed. They moved as one pack, a pack of wolves on campus. They bullied classmates, extorted money, harassed juniors, even lecturers began to fear them. But what they didn't know was that the oath that they swore that night would follow them long after the university gate closed. Years passed. The boys of the deadly 12 graduated from the university, smiling, celebrating, moving on with their lives. But they never forgot the oaths. They promised every 5 years they must meet, no matter what, even in death. The first reunion came. They gathered in a small bar. Laughter filled the room. Drinks flowed. Old memories returned. But one chair remained empty. Emeka. One of the 12 had died in a mysterious car accident only weeks before. The boys poured a drink in his memory. To Emeka, they said, and they responded to Emeka. And then the impossible happened. The empty chairs scraped against the floor. A cold wind blew across the table, and a shadowy hand reached for the cups. The drink lifted on its own and emptied. The boys, they froze. Their hearts pounded, but Uche forced a smile. Remember the oath, brothers, forever, even in death. They tried to laugh it off, but none of them could forget what they had seen. 5 years later, another reunion came. This time, 2 more chairs were empty. Both boys had died in strange accidents, and once again, the empty chairs filled themselves. Invisible hands lifted the corpse, and in the candlelight, the survivors swore they saw faintly ghostly faces smiling at them. They were scared. Fear grew among them. Some wanted to quit. Some wanted to run. But Uche reminded them, the oath cannot be broken. No betrayal, no fear. We are one in life and in death. From then on, their lives were never the same. Strange things followed them. One of them, Shegun, ran mad, screaming about ghostly voices calling his name at night. Another, Tunde, drowned mysteriously, and Tunde was known to be a good swimmer. Ovie, the money lover, was found dead with a corpse still in his hand, though no one saw who poured the drink. Fear began to grow the more. Every 5 years, their number reduced. Every 5 years, the shadows at the table increased. And every 5 years, their fear tripled, until at one gathering, the living were fewer than the dead. They sat at a round table, 6 of them alive, 6 of them gone. The room grew cold, the lights flickered, and slowly the other chairs filled. Ghostly figures, pale hands, empty eyes. But when they lifted their cups, the sound of laughter filled the air. The living ones shook with terror. Some screamed, some fainted. One whispered, "We are cursed. The dead are drinking with us." From that night, they knew the truth. This was no longer a brotherhood. It was a shame, a curse that would drag them all, one by one, into the grave. And Uche, the boy who started it all, would soon be the last man standing. Thought the oath was power, but it became their prison. And soon, only one would remain. One by one, they fell, until only one remained, Uche, the boy who thought he had created freedom, was now shamed by the very oath he made. And the dead were coming for him. Over the years, the deadly 12 shrank in numbers. At every reunion, fewer chairs were filled by the living and more by the dead. The shadows grew louder. The ghostly hands grew bolder, until finally there was only one, Uche. At night, Uche could no longer sleep. He would hear footsteps in his room, laughter at his window, and when he sat at his dining table, 11 empty cups would sometimes appear before him. And then he will see them, his old brothers, smiling, pay, drinking, calling him, "Brother, come. The circle is not complete without you." Uche grew thin. He stopped eating. He avoided people because everywhere he went, he held them. The oath had become his prison, and now it wanted his life. One night, after waking up to see ghostly hands holding his cup, Uche broke down. He fell to his knees and wept. "God, if you are real, save me. I didn't know what I was doing. I just wanted freedom. I just wanted power. Please deliver me." The very next morning, he met a pastor who had heard whispers about his torments. The pastor listened quietly and said, "Son, what you call freedom is bondage. The oath you made in darkness can only be broken by the light." Uche said, "I am ready, sir. I am ready for the light. Save me. Save me." They entered the small prayer room. The pastor placed a Bible on the table. "Renounce it," he commanded. "Break the covenant with your mouth. Speak it out. Speak it loud." Uche trembled. His lips shook. The air grew cold. He felt the presence of his dead brothers in the room. He heard them whispering, "Don't betray us. Brothers forever, even in death." Uche screamed, "I renounce the deadly 12. I break the oath. I am no longer one of you." At that moment, the light flickers. The chairs shook violently, and one by one, the ghostly hands tried to grab him, pulling, choking, dragging him. But the pastor shouted, "In the name of Jesus, let him go. In the name of Jesus, let him go. In the name of Jesus, let him go." There was a loud crash. A wind rushed through the room, and suddenly, silence. The hands were gone. The voices disappeared. For the first time in years, Uche could breathe freely. "Freedom at last," he said. Uche fell to the ground, weeping. The curse was broken. The chain of death shattered. He walked out of the prayer room as the sun was rising. For the first time since he entered the university, he felt true freedom. Uche thought freedom meant rebellion, but rebellion chained him. He thought power was in numbers, but those numbers became his prison. True freedom is not in darkness. True freedom is found in discipline, responsibility, and the light of truth. If you have learned anything from this story, please subscribe, like, and share